Hello everyone and welcome to the social science class. So in this session, in our previous session, we started with the lesson the Stone Age and earliest societies, right? And we covered half of the lesson. So today we are going to cover the rest of the part. We will be discussing the rest of the part of this lesson, right? So before we move on further, let us take a quick recapitulation of what we did in our previous sessions, right? So we studied about Stone Age. So why Stone Age? Why has this term been coined? Why this name has been given? Because this time period, this time, this phase of time has been termed as Stone Age because all the main objects which were used by early humans, they were all made of stones, right? So since all the important tools, important objects were made of stone, so from here it gets this time period gets the name of Stone Age, right? Now further, this Stone Age has been divided. We also read this, that this Stone Age has been further divided into three sub periods, right? Now what are those sub periods? Paleolithic Age, Mesolithic Age and Neolithic Age. So as the name suggests, Paleolithic Age, that is the oldest phase, right? So this is also known as Old Stone Age. This is the first phase. So it is also termed as, it is also known as Old Stone Age. Then Mesolithic Age refers to the Middle Stone Age, right? The Middle Stone Age, the age after the Paleolithic Age. And finally the Neolithic Age. Neo, as the word Neo says, new. So Neolithic Age, it's clear from the name itself, this refers to the New Stone Age. Fine. So the three sub periods are Paleolithic Age, Mesolithic Age and Neolithic Age. And one more thing to keep in mind, all these this Stone Age has been divided into three periods. What is the basis? On what basis has it been divided? The entire time phase has been divided. Yes, of course. This division is based on type and quality of stone tools. So every progress is a continuous process, isn't it? So we find in every age the the tools, the designing of the tools, the quality, the variety of the tools developed, right? So on this basis only, that is on the type and quality of stone tools, these three divisions have been made, right? So I hope this basic thing which we are going to discuss, which is the main thing of discussion, main point of discussion in this chapter is very clear to everyone. So in our previous session, we covered Paleolithic Age, right? We talked about Lower Paleolithic Age, Middle Paleolithic Age and Upper Paleolithic Age. And we also came to know, we also read that the age ended just at the onset of agriculture. Onset means beginning. With the, when man came to know about agriculture, there stopped there ended the Stone Age. Apart from this, We also talked about fire, which was one of the major discoveries made by man, isn't it? So, now let us talk about Mesolithic age and Neolithic age. So, Mesolithic age started around 10,000 BC and ended around 8,000 BC. So, what was the time frame, or which was the phase? It started, this Mesolithic age started at around 10,000 BCE. I hope all of you remember BCE. Yes, it's absolutely correct. Before Common Era, right? And ended around 8,000 BCE, right? So this was the phase of Mesolithic age. During the Mesolithic age, the climate changed and it became very dry and warm. Right in the beginning of Paleolithic age, we read that it was very cold, and gradually the climate started changing, isn't it? So by Mesolithic age, the climate changed. It wasn't very cold, it wasn't extremely cold, and it became dry and warm. Humans of this age developed small, sharp pointed stone tools called microliths. What are microliths? These were the small, very sharp tools. They were very pointed. These stone tools were they were quite small. I mean, these were the features. They were small, they were sharp and pointed. And what were they called? What are they called? They are called microliths, right? Now, after this Mesolithic age started the Neolithic age, that is the last phase of Stone Age. Now, this period lasted from 8,000 BCE to 8,000 BCE to 4,000 BCE, right? So it was all BCE, that is before the birth of Jesus Christ, before Common Era, right? So the tools of this new Stone Age were more advanced. Obviously, I told you in the first chapter only we read that development was a continuous process. Development never stopped. Progress never stopped. Humans kept progressing every minute, every moment, and we can see this now as well. The process of progress doesn't stop at all, right? Every day, every minute, every moment, we move ahead, we move towards progress, isn't it? So, in the Neolithic age, the tools of this new Stone Age were more advanced than the earlier tools. They were much sharper than the tools of Mesolithic age. They sparkled due to polishing techniques. See, they learned how to polish these tools, which they did not know earlier. They started with new technique, right? Again, kind of progress. So, these new tools, the tools of Neolithic age, they were polished, and that was the reason they sparkled. Tools of this period were axes, sickles, spears, and arrowheads, right? They were very sharp and they were now much advanced. Fine. So I hope this part is clear to you. Now let us move on to the process of making stone tools. Right. So tools belonging to 3 stone age periods were found at many places. So stone was easily available. So why early man used stone only? Because stone was easily available. It was available everywhere. They still did not have any idea of metals, isn't it? The moment they learnt about metals, I mean, further later, much later, when they came to know about metals, they switched on to metal tools, isn't it? So till they did not know about metals, they used stone tools only. And why stone? Because stone was available everywhere, right? So the two techniques of making these stone tools were stone on stone and pressure flaking. So what do you mean by stone on stone? That means using one stone to give shape to another stone, right? A big stone was used as a hammer, and with the help of that, the other stone, right, that was given shape, right? Something like, a hammer, and how you use a hammer. Suppose you have to make something smaller in size. Suppose you have a stone and you have to make it smaller in size. So what would you do? You will hammer it and break it into smaller pieces and then give shape to it. So this was something like that. And pressure flaking, this was the other technique, right? Now here in this method, the core stone was placed on a firm ground. What do you mean by firm? A strong ground, right? Or a strong surface. Then after that, the hammer stone was placed on a piece of bone or stone that was placed on the core to remove flakes. So something like, chiseling, right? So flakes were removed to make it more sharper. Fine. So I hope you are clear with these two techniques of shaping the tools, that is stone on stone technique and pressure flaking technique, right? Now moving ahead, we come to the section where we will discuss the uses of stone. What were the uses, right? The stone tools were used to dig the ground, very important. Hunt animals, again very important. If they did not hunt, what would they eat? And how would they protect themselves from these wild animals? So these tools were used for hunting animals. And skin them. What do you mean by skin them? Remove the skin. The skin is, once the skin is removed, then only it could be eaten. So they were all early humans. They ate raw until and unless fire was discovered. So further, another use to cut trees. Obviously they used axes to cut the trees. And scrape the barks of trees. Scrape means to scrape out, to remove the cover, the bark of the trees. Chop meats, fruits and wood, and to stitch animal skins for making clothes. So many uses of these stone tools, isn't it? So life was, they could not do any work without these stone tools. Therefore they were very, very important, right? Next, comes rock paintings. So early humans lived obviously in caves. They did not live in houses like us, isn't it? But still, they although lived in natural caves, but still they decorated their caves the way we decorate our houses, isn't it? So they decorated the walls of the caves with paintings, and these drawings were of running wild horses, bisons, bears, stags, herds of other animals. So whatever they saw around them, they drew those things only on the cave walls, right? And what I mean, not normally, what did they see? Animals around them, isn't it? So these were what they painted on the cave walls. Some of these are found in Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh. Now, which colors they used? Red, green, white and ochre. These were the colors used in the paintings, right? Ochre is a brownish red color, right? And these paintings also, they also drew paintings which reflected the work of men as well as women. So this division was still there at that time, right? They drew pictures of men hunting and riding. Men went for hunting, and how did they go hunting? Of course, on riding on horses and maybe other animals. And what was the work of women? Staying at home and grinding and preparing food and dancing, right? So we see the nature of the society right from the beginning. Further, let us talk about the environmental changes. As discussed earlier, the climate of the world changed around 12,000 years ago. It became warm from cold. So, in our previous video, in our previous session of this lesson, we read that it was very, very cold. Ice age, isn't it? And here, in this part of the lesson, we read that during Mesolithic age, the climate changed and it became dry and warm. So obviously there was a change in the climate. So with changes in climate, lot of things changed, right? So due to this change, grasslands developed, and when the grasslands developed, this increased the number of animals, grass-eating animals. Which kind of animals? Grass-eating animals. Number of grass-eating animals, they increased, isn't it? That is herbivorous animals. They increased in number. Hunters of these animals also followed them. They learned about their breeding season and food habits, and slowly people started to rear these animals, right? Tame them, domesticate them, and started rearing these animals, right? During this time, several grain-bearing grasses, including rice, barley and wheat, also grew naturally in different parts of the subcontinent. So early humans collected these grains and used them as their food, and now they came to know, they thought of growing those crops themselves, those grains themselves, isn't it? And this is how agriculture started, right? This might have been the beginning of growing plants by humans. So this is how they took a step forward towards agriculture. So our lesson ends here, and I hope all of you have understood and enjoyed the lesson. So do read the chapter well. See you again in the next video. Thank you so much.